I'm going to discuss in this video my prediction for the jury verdict in Trump's New York criminal trial. I view it as extremely unlikely that the judge will direct a verdict of acquittal and will leave the matter to be decided by the jury. No one knows how the jury will respond to the evidence in the criminal trial, to the closing arguments of both sides, and to the judge's instructions to the jury, which are not publicly available for review now. Overall, I'm impressed with both sides, the lawyers for both sides. The main prosecutor is a pro and very competent, in my opinion. My best guess is that one or more jurors will vote for acquittal and a mistrial will consequently occur due to the hung jury. The problem for the prosecution has always been, and obviously is, Michael Cohen is hard to believe in his testimony, given his past admitted lies that he has made under oath. If Weisselberg was willing to testify rather than to just invoke the Fifth Amendment constitutional right that he has, which is why he will not be called as a witness, and he confirmed Cohen's testimony about Trump's involvement in the falsification of business record scheme, the odds of all 12 jurors voting to convict a former president and the Republican candidate for president in 2024 would go up and make that outcome more likely than a hung jury, in my opinion. Cohen and Trump deserve one another, and there is no doubt in my mind why Trump chose the ethically challenged Cohen to represent him. Michael Cohen was the only lawyer that Trump could find that had similarities to Roy Cohn, C-O-H-N. Possibly when Judgment Day comes for these two creatures, the result will be to confine them to the same dingy and smelly room for eternity. As I said, I do not see all 12 jurors voting for an acquittal or a guilty verdict. The only narrative that makes sense to me is that Trump either directed or approved of classifying the reimbursement to Cohen of his payment to Stormy Daniels as a legal fee. While Cohen is the only witness to testify of Trump's direct involvement in the falsification, the documentary evidence shows that Trump signed the checks with invoices and payment stubs showing that the payments were made pursuant to a legal retainer with Cohen that did not exist. The document with the handwriting of Weisselberg and Cohen showing the breakdown of the $420,000 payment to Cohen, which included the $130,000 reimbursement grossed up to $260,000, is powerful evidence, but it is only Cohen's testimony that directly connects Trump to a discussion of that document. The circumstantial evidence is strong that Trump would not have signed the $35,000 checks paid to Cohen without knowing exactly what was going on, including the reimbursement of the $130,000 that Cohen paid to Daniels that was doubled to account for the false classification of the payment as a legal fee and the taxes that Cohen would have to pay with that classification as income, rather than a mere reimbursement of an expense. And signing the checks without knowing what they were for would be totally inconsistent with the testimony about how Trump has conducted his business throughout his adult life. Lastly, it would not make any sense to me to believe that Weisselberg would have concocted the scheme with Cohen without Trump knowing about it. And there is reasonable doubt on why, there is no reasonable doubt, I should say, in my opinion, if I was sitting on the jury, of why the falsification happened. If Trump had paid Daniels directly, he would have had to report the contribution to the FEC. I don't think many people understand that that is required, even for using one's own cash in a campaign. By using Cohen to make the payment, Cohen violated the election law, including making a larger campaign contribution than permitted, and he pled guilty to that crime. If Cohen is believed that Trump directed him to make that payment, then Trump conspired to violate the federal election law, and that is the unlawful act under Section 17-512 of the New York election law. The only opinion that matters are those of the 12 jurors. I'm just making my best guess here as to what the outcome will be, and I believe the most likely outcome is a hung jury.